Who was the topping A50s D50s stack for? How does it sound? How does it compare with the similarly priced IFI Zencan Signature 6XX stack and topping E30 L30 stack? Is it worth a purchase at around $470? All of these answers and more coming up. Greetings, boss head, and welcome aboard. Stuart Charles here, HomeStudioBasics.com, helping you make sound decisions leading to a beautiful audio experience that will make you fall in love with music all over again. So, who is the topping A50s D50s stack for? This incredibly hefty and well-built stack targets the audiophile / gamer demographic with its 32-bit 768 kHz/DSD capability, Bluetooth capability, and plenty of connections including USB Type-B, coaxial in, optical in, and RCA out for the DAC. The amp section provides a pair of RCA inputs for use with the DAC, as well as RCA outputs for connection to separate powered speakers. Like the E30 L30, you can game with it on console via optical, and the coax allows you to connect to basically anything in a home theater environment. Easily cycle through your different connections with the remote, or just use the mini joystick on the front, which can also be used for the volume adjustment on the DAC itself. Audiophile snobs will love its less than minuscule 0.00007% total harmonic distortion at a 32 ohm load, 0.00006% into a 300 ohm load, its almost nothing output impedance of less than 0.1, identical to the E30 L30 combo, and plenty of power. Speaking of power, peak power numbers indicate 1.4 watts at 32 ohm and 192 milliwatts at 300 ohm. Continuous power, i.e. what you will be using, for the unbalanced quarter-inch jack comes in at 485 milliwatts at 32 ohm and 52 milliwatts at 300 ohm, i.e. plenty. For reference, the HD600 at 300 ohm requires roughly 20 milliwatts from an amp to get pumping. For the 4.4mm balanced connection, 1950 milliwatts at 32 ohm and 208 milliwatts at 300 ohm. I didn't find any of the 10 headphones I have here at the pad, including the K240M 600 ohm Austrian model, hard to drive. So turn that frown upside down, Buster! If you weren't aware, VRMS, root mean square, is the actual power that the device is capable of handling for long periods of time. It's used to control and lower the voltage sent to these components in order to avoid exceeding their maximum voltage capabilities, i.e. it needs to be consistent, steady, and continuous. You want your libido high, but not so high that you're banging everything in sight like a rabid dog. Okay, that was a poor analogy, but it was funny, so lay off me! The only other feature that the A50s D50s has is the filter modes and some other miscellaneous items. Short press the power button on the D50s to enter in. There's a brightness display setting for 30%, 60%, 100%, and auto, and an auto shutoff setting. I prefer to keep this off, as it's pretty annoying when the screen goes blank after about 10 seconds. But how does it sound? In a word, cleanly. That's not a word, but this stack is incredibly similar to the E30 L30 homie. Clean, neutral, and incredibly transparent. With my K702, I'm at about 1 to 2 o'clock on 0 dB gain. There's so much dynamism and synergy. I can barely take all the scaling. I feel like an Oompa Loompa scaling larger and larger and larger until I pop. I'm running Tidal Hi-Fi and Spotify Premium, so anything 24-bit 44K and up. So what about a quick sound comparison to the IFI Zencan Signature 6XX stack? It's interesting to note that the Zencan Sig takes less volume to reach acceptable levels on 0 dB gain with the DAC maxed out. 11 to 12 o'clock on the amp versus around 1 to 2 on the A50s. But the sound differences between the two is obvious, albeit subtle. The Zencan is a more relaxed and laid-back presentation of the music. It's more lush and inviting. It wants you to kick back and act like a weirdo about it. Scotch, cigars, caviar, the whole nine. Just make sure to hold your pinky out. The A50s D50s seems more forward, with vocals that stand out a bit more and come across with a little bit more clarity and immediacy. You like that word salad? You want another one? In all honesty, they sound incredibly similar at the end of the day. I'm going back and forth on Oh Wonder's 2015 self-titled, and it sounds great on both. The difference likely won't be discernible in a blind test. The Zencan Sig has a bass boost, they call it 6XX, and a 3-gain stage versus 2 for the A50s D50s. But the A50s D50s has Bluetooth capability, whereas the Zencan Sig does not. I found it interesting that both have the 4.4mm balanced connection on the front. So, is this stack worth a purchase? It's interesting to note that both the Zencan SIG and topping stack here come in at identical $470. The E30 L30 is around $270. Well, if you buy the more expensive stack, I'll get a higher commission, so that's the one I'm going to recommend today. Shill! Nah, in all honesty, I'd bypass both of these and just get the E30 L30 stack. No, it doesn't have Bluetooth functionality or as much power, but I don't think those two things are worth $200 more in this case. The only reason I'd personally buy an A50s D50s stack is if I plan to drive really demanding headphones like the K240M. If you have headphones like that, or anything from the LCD line, then yeah, you may want to go with this over the E30 L30, as you'll have a much easier time of it. The problem with the Zencan signature stack is that it's overpriced. If you want to go that route, the original Zen DAC amp combo paired with the silver Zencan is what I'd recommend to save some money like a normal person. $300 total Zen amp DAC combo plus Zencan silver versus $470 Zencan signature 6XX stack is a no-brainer to me. All relevant links will be in the description box below. So are you ready to check out the next video? Click here to my right and I'll see you over there.